Welcome to Afterthoughts, a Collect Your Thoughts mini episode. I'm Sean Millhouse, licensed professional counselor.
I'm Asher Morgan, licensed professional counselor.
Yeah. So this is a new little Afterthoughts episode segment that we are starting for the very first time called our Acorn episodes. And Asher was awesome enough to join me in this new experiment because, as I kind of mentioned in our last episode that we aired, we are on a little hiatus to just kind of chill out for the month of September. But we definitely wanted there to be some content and to still encourage collecting your thoughts and to maybe share a little bit about how we do that in our practice at Bentonville Counseling Collective. So Asher is going to participate in this with me. And I don't know how you feeling about all this, Asher. Are you just like on the edge of your seat?
I actually am not sure I've ever shared this with any of you, but I really like the Acorn Questions. It was something that, so I don't remember if I talked about this in any of the episodes I've been on, but like I actually did my practicum and internship with the collective before I became like an actual therapist when I was still like
Yeah.
a student therapist. And Acorn Questions were always a part of the entire like quote unquote, I guess, staff meeting. And it was just like some of them were fun, some of them were deep, and it was just a way to kind of connect with one another that was really unique in a way that I hadn't experienced before. And I always really like Acorn Questions because for me, I always have to kind of sit with it for a
Yeah.
second before I know like what I actually want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm glad that it was something that stuck out to you before you
Mm-hmm.
even became an official member. So that makes me really happy. So I will give a little background into not only what are these Acorn questions, what the fuck are we talking about here, but
Mm-hmm.
also sort of the intent with this episode format. And hopefully you will enjoy how we get into it and also will take it into your own lives. So,
Yes.
how did this come about? Well, when I first joined Bentonville Counseling Collective, whenever we would have our meetings, we would oftentimes just, and this is still something that's very true, it's very easy to lose the plot. We all just sort of squirrel around. We're all very like, I think Elise mentioned this in a recent episode where we don't get to see each other all at the same time often. And so
Mm-hmm.
our monthly meetings typically are the place in which we do that. And so we have a lot of energy just seeing each other and are excited to just yap and all that stuff. And so somebody made it like a joke, that classic ADHD joke about like, oh, we're just a bunch of squirrels, like, like, holy crap. And so when I first joined, I was like, what would be hilarious? Of course, I'm thinking this is hilarious. Is that what if like our official mascot was a squirrel? And
Mm-hmm.
so I went and purchased this little guy. This is Acorn. Literally, his name is Acorn. That was on his tag. I don't know what happened to the tag. But anyway, this is Acorn, our squirrel. And Acorn comes with his little questions. And what we do with this is that every meeting we pull out a question that each of us as a group, we submitted questions into our little Acorn jar, and we pull out a question every week and or every month, depending on how often we meet,
Mm-hmm.
and basically reflect on it. And these questions can vary wildly, kind of like what you referred to, Asher, where
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they're really deep and vulnerable, and other times they're really silly and lighthearted and just fun. And so I thought, it'd be really cool if we could bring this element to collect your thoughts and maybe have these questions be also questions you guys out there listening or watching can ask yourselves and your loved ones, and maybe just share and maybe, I don't know, just create another way to collect your thoughts. So, anyway, with that all explained, the hope here, this is the key, is that we are shooting for brevity. We are challenging ourselves to keep this episode, like the next part of this, about less than 10 minutes. I'm not going to usually go over all the rules and stuff after the very first episode. Just want to put that out there. So, anyway, this one might be a little longer than that because of all the blah, blah, blah I just did to set this concept up. However, this is going to be, I think, hopefully really cool and fun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Let's
Asher,
have
are
it.
you ready to dive
Drum roll.
in? So, what we typically do, because we're a bunch of weird therapists, is we will often have the squirrel Acorn like, and then he opens up the questions. If you're not, if you're just listening, you can watch this if you want. If you want to put yourself through this, is that I am currently using the squirrel to pull out a question, and it's going, get the question out. Anyway, let me just dive in and pull out a question. I'm not looking, I'm just pulling one out. We'll see what it says. Okay. Asher. And this is something we're both going to answer.
The suspense is killing me.
Ooh. Pick a song for each person in the room that makes you think of them and share why you chose this particular song. Why?
I'm so bad at all music related things. No, we can do this. I can do this.
You can, I mean, you know me well enough to know songs that make you think of me, I hope.
Yes.
Okay.
Taylor Swift's entire collection.
That's cheating. Which is ironic because should I go first? Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
So I'm only picking this because there's a story behind it. I'm picking, ironically, you know what I'm about to say, I think.
I do not.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No,
For Asher, I am picking Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version. Because
I feel so attacked.
No, this was funny. So this was during our during Asher's internship with us at Bentonville Counseling Collective, and Red Taylor's version had just come out not that long ago. And I was in my office. It was like, I think I was by myself at this point. There was nobody else there. And I was jamming out to All Too Well, the 10-minute version. And like, I was just singing at the top of my lungs and just be like that. And like, I see Asher come around the corner. And of course, I'm like, oh God, like, I'm such an idiot. And like, I'm doing this in front of our intern. And basically, I don't remember the exact quote of what you said, Asher, but it was something along the lines of like, damn, what are you going through? Like, like,
I'm so sweet.
You're like, All Too Well 10-minute version this early in the morning? Damn, that must be rough.
It was so early.
It was. And I mean, truly at the time I was going through a lot, but also it also just makes me happy to sing her song. So even though, yes, it is a Taylor song, which of course it's, it's all about me, but like I will always have that association with you because it's a great song. But also because it was such a funny moment. It's one of those things where I was like, oh, not only did Asher know the song, but also you like said something really quippy and funny about it. So that's my song that I'm picking that reminds me of you.
So my song is also a Taylor Swift song, which is not shocking, but in the realm, because I went through a lot personally during internship, and I remember, like, in addition to the Acorn Questions, we usually did some type of activity.
Yeah.
And like, it was your day to do the activity, and you basically made us do like an impromptu like dance party to shake it off. And it was like, you have like 6 very like human people, obviously, but like people in their humanness is what I meant. Like, varying levels of like comfort and self-consciousness, like trying to just have this like
this is silent, like 9 o'clock in the morning,
silent disco moment at like 9 a.m. and and I remember like it took me probably the whole song, but it was like eventually that like level of self-consciousness like kind of faded away and just able to kind of be in the moment. And that, I think that's something that like I associate with you, of like that like fun, and we might be a little hesitant about whatever the activity is going to be, but like once we actually start it, especially when we do it together, it usually ends up being a really good time. And like, and we're all really comfortable with one another. And I don't know, that
Yes.
song always kind of reminds me of that moment, because at first I was like, what the fuck? Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And I think I even just stood there for like the first little bit of like,
most of you guys did at first.
of like, absolutely not. It's too early for this shit. Like, what are you doing to us? But then like to kind of also just watch that guard come down for all of us. But also like me in particular, because like music is kind of a touchy thing for me. Like, I don't know. I like it wasn't something that ever really like delved into. So it was never a comfort. And so like to kind of have that like expression of freedom and just presence with other people that were also just being fun and awkward. So
Yeah. I remember it very clearly as well. And I will say, yes, it was my whole point in doing it was I wanted to like shake us out. I really wanted to like do something that was going to wake us up, because I really hated that we had morning meetings. We do not do them in the morning anymore. Thank God, for me at least. And anyway, I was really hoping that, we could all just have some fun. And also, I will say, because I knew that it'd probably be awkward to dance in front of each other, I did bring props. I did have, there was like different little glow sticks and little twirlers and all this stuff. So I basically was trying to make it easy that if you didn't want to dance yet, then hey, just sit there and wave your little item that, makes a noise or glows or does something silly and frilly. And so, yeah, that's still sometimes I think you will bring that up every now and then. You're like, oh no, you're gonna make us do shake it out again or something.
It was both a beautiful and traumatizing moment,
which I think is the experience of me. So
and kind of life in general.
Beautifully traumatizing. Anyway, so great. I love that. That was a fun question. So again, to all of you listening or watching out there, the question that I hope that you take into your life and have some fun with is pick a song for each person in the room that makes you think of them and share why you chose that particular song. And have a little fun. And also you can take your time. We're putting a little limit on it just to keep these brief. But hey, you do you, and maybe you'll have a interesting conversation from it. And if you want to share or comment on our social media platforms about what it was like for you to participate in that, or to reveal your own answer if you'd like to. We're all about having the cool like engagement and conversation with you guys.
Yeah. Let us know what your favorite songs are.
Yeah. And what maybe you think other people maybe think of you in terms of a song. Anyway, there's lots you can do with that. So thank you guys for joining us on our special little Acorn Afterthoughts episode. And as always, I want to remind you to take a deep breath.
And collect your thoughts.
That's right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.